All right, thanks, guys. The Nets take on the Sixers, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Philadelphia. The Sixers open the betting as the 7-point favorite, total at 221. Since those markets opened this one up, not a whole lot of movement on either the spread or the total. Philly's still -7, total still at 221. 60% are leaning Philly, 62% shaded toward the over. Brooklyn is plus 245 for some money line cash. Philadelphia is minus 265 on the money line as well. Now, Philadelphia has been an amazing 14-1 straight up in their games on their home court this season. This Brooklyn offense is putting up just 106 points per contest away from home. Meanwhile, when it comes to the scoring, Brooklyn 9-5 to the over in their games on the road. Philadelphia 5-1 to the under in their last 6. So with all that said and done, I'm going to make a very chalky play in this one. Give me Philadelphia -7 in the under 221 in that one. All right, I just want to take a quick timeout, and before I get into some more NBA lines and personal leans for Wednesday's NBA action, I just want to remind you to just quickly check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. And with a documented win percentage of 60% for the entire year of 2017, you're certainly costing yourself some valuable information each and every day you're not subscribed. Now, memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. There's also plenty of free content there as well. So once again, please feel free to just hit that pause button right now. Open up your browser. All you got to do is type in patreon.com/BrockPage. It'll only take you a couple of seconds. Link is in the description section below. And if you are a current patron of mine and you're currently watching me right now, I simply cannot thank you enough. You most certainly make it all worth it. You can also access my current record on Patreon. That's a part of that free content there as well. So feel free to access my numbers, my figures, my stats on patreon.com/BrockPage. And without any further ado, let's go ahead and jump right back into some more lines and personal leans. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Celtics, Wizards, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Washington. The Celtics open the betting as the 3.5-point favorite, and the total at 217 and a hook. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing money on Boston. We're seeing money on the over. Right now, Boston is -4, but the total moving upward to 220 and a hook. So once again, Boston open -3.5 up to -4. Total open 217.5 up to 220 and a hook. 77% of the consensus is leaning toward Boston. Now the Wizards are plus 150 for some money line cash. Boston is minus $1.19 on the money line themselves. Now this Boston defense has been very good this year. They're allowing just 102 points per contest. Meanwhile, on the other side, Washington is just 2-5 against the spread in their last 7, taking on Boston. Scoring-wise, Washington 5-2 to the under in their last 7. Boston 2-0 to the under in their last 2. So with all that said and done, I'm going to take the road favorite in this one. Give me Boston -4 and the under 220.5 in that one. Next game, Pistons, Hornets. 7 o'clock tip-off in Charlotte. The Hornets open the betting as the 5.5-point favorite, total at 219 and a hook. Since those markets opened this one up, not a whole lot of movement on the spread. We've seen it go a half a point here or there, upward, downward, side to side, but we are seeing movement downward on the total. Right now, Charlotte remains the 5.5-point favorite with the total moving downward to 218 and a hook. So once again, the Hornets open 5.5. They remain minus 5.5. Total open 219 and a hook down to 218 and a half. 51% are leaning Charlotte, 62% shaded toward the over. Detroit's plus $1.85, Charlotte's minus 200. Now the Hornets are one of the better covering teams in the association. They're 16-10 against the spread overall for the year, 9-5 against the spread in their games at home. Meanwhile, on the other side, Detroit really struggling to get the job done for their backers. They're 0-5 against the spread in their last 5 ball games, 3-6 straight up in their last 9 away from home. And scoring-wise, Detroit 60% to the over in their games at the current posted total. Meanwhile, Charlotte, a perfect 4-0 to the over in their games at the current posted total themselves. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it down, and take Charlotte -5 in the over, 218.5 in that one. All right, next game, Bucks, Pacers, 7 o'clock tip-off in Indiana. The Bucks open the betting as the 2-point favorite, total at 217.5. Since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing money on Milwaukee. We're seeing money on the under. Right now, Milwaukee's minus 2.5 with the total moving downward to 216 and a hook. So once again, the Bucks open 2, now 2.5. Total open 217.5, down to 216 and a hook. 75% of the consensus is leaning toward Milwaukee. 66% shaded toward the over. Indiana's plus $1.13. Milwaukee's minus $1.33. Now we do have a couple injuries. We got Giannis and for the Bucks on the injury list. We have Oladipo on the list as well. Both players are questionable for tonight, so there's no telling who's going to show up. Pretty big matchup, but once again, Giannis Antetokounmpo on the injury report, he's questionable, and Victor Oladipo is questionable for the Pacers. Now, regardless of who's in, this Pacers defense has been excellent this season. They're giving up just 97 points per game on their home court. Meanwhile, on the Milwaukee side of things, completely different story. Their defense is allowing 114 points per contest when they travel. And scoring-wise, Indiana 10-3 to the under in their games at home. Milwaukee 6-1 to the under in their last 7. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take the home dog in this one. Give me Indiana plus 3 in the under 216.5 in that one. Next game, Knicks, Cavs. That is a 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Cleveland. The Knicks open the betting as the 2-point favorite, total at 214. Since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing a 0.5 point fade of New York on the spread. We're also seeing a 1-point move upward on the total. New York open -2, down to -1.5. Total open 214, up to 215 even. 60% are leaning New York, 54% shaded toward the over. Cleveland's plus $1.10 on the money line. New York's minus $1.20. Now the Knicks are 6-2 against the spread in their last 8 games in Cleveland. This Cleveland offense, on their side of things, they're putting up just 103 points per contest. Now, scoring-wise, Cleveland 4-2 to the over in their last 6 at home. Meanwhile, the Knicks 9-6 to the over in their 15 games away from home this season. So all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the 0.5 point, buy it down, and take the Knicks -1 in the over 215 in that one. Next game, Blazers, Grizzlies, 8 o'clock tip-off in Memphis. The Grizzlies open the betting as the 3-point favorite, total at 205.5. Since those markets opened this one up, not a whole lot of movement on the spread, although we've seen a 1.5 point move downward on the total. That total is now at 204. So once again, the Grizzlies open -3. They remain -3. Total open 205 and a hook, down to 204 even. 68% of the consensus is leaning toward Memphis. 76% shaded toward the over. Portland's plus $1.40. Memphis is minus $1.50. Now Memphis is 8-4 against the spread in their games at home this season. This Portland defense on the other side, they're giving up 115 points per contest away from home. And scoring-wise, Portland is 61% to the over in their games away from home. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean Memphis -3 in the over 204 in that one. Next game, Thunder, Pelicans, 8 o'clock tip-off in New Orleans. OKC's -2, totals at 232. 60% are leaning OKC, 51% shaded toward the over. New Orleans is plus $1.18 for some money line cash. OKC minus $1.28 on the money line as well. Now the Thunder, 17-8 straight up on the year, 15-10 against the spread in those ball games. This OKC offense is putting up 112 points per game. They're also 5-1 straight up in their last 6. Now New Orleans on the other side, completely different story. They're just 6-7 ATS when catching the points. They're also covering just 28% of the time in their games at the current number. So they're covering just 28% of their games at the current point spread. Now scoring-wise, New Orleans 3-0 to the under in their last 3, 6-2 to the under in their last 8. Meanwhile, on the OKC side of things, their defense is allowing just 104 points per contest on the road. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean OKC -2 and the under 232 in that one. Next game, Hawks, Mavericks. 8:30 tip-off in Dallas. The Mavs are -7, totals 223. 63% are leaning Dallas, 56% shaded toward the over. Atlanta's +355. Dallas is -400. Dallas is 17-8 against the spread overall for the year. 12-2 ATS at home. Atlanta's just 38% covering overall for the year. And scoring-wise, Dallas is just 42% to the over in their games at home. So with all that said and done, I'm going to lean Dallas -7 and the under 223 in that one. Next game, Heat, Jazz, 9 o'clock tip-off in Utah. The Jazz open 6.5 up to -7. Totals at 209 and a hook. 55% are leaning Utah, 66% shaded toward the over. Miami's +255. Utah's -275. This Utah defense is allowing 110 points per contest at home. Meanwhile, on the Miami side, they're 5-1 against the spread in their last 6. Scoring-wise, Utah 8-2 to the over in their games at home. I'm going to take Miami +7 and the over 209.5 in that one. Next game, T-Wolves, Kings, 10 o'clock tip-off in Sacramento. Minnesota open 2, now 2.5. Totals at 228. 57% are leaning Minnesota, 59% shaded toward the under. Sacramento's +137. Minnesota's -145. Sacramento is 17-9 against the spread overall for the year. They're covering 73% of their games as the official home underdog. Minnesota on their side of things traveling very poorly this year. They're just 2-10 straight up on the road. And scoring-wise, Minnesota's just 2-10 to the over in their games on the road as well. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take Sacramento +3 and the under 228 in that one. Next and final game for the show, it is going to be Raptors, Warriors, 10:30 Golden State. The Warriors open 5.5 up to 6.5. Totals at 228. 57% are leaning Warriors, 86% shaded toward the over. Toronto's +245. Golden State's -265. Golden State is covering just 25% of their games at the current point spread. Toronto's covering 75% of their games as the official road underdog. Toronto's also 10-3 straight up in their last 13. Kawhi is still questionable, but I'm going to base this pick as if Kawhi was in the lineup and playing. Now Toronto 5-1 to the under in their last 6. Golden State 42% to the over at home. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, buy it up, and take Toronto +7 and the under 228 in this one.